Well, when the US Open comes to town, it brings with it a significant investment in the community. And this year, the Maggie Hathaway Golf Course in South LA will be the largest benefactor of the city's first major championship in 75 years. Organizers have identified the course as a path to further grow the game and are planning a $15 million renovation that includes creating golf learning centers for local youth, a fitting tribute to one of golf's forgotten heroes.
Just 15 miles away from Los Angeles Country Club in nearby South Central, next door to the Jesse Owens Park, you'll find a 1,000-yard par 3 course. It's named after singer, dancer, civil rights activist, and selfless friend of the game, Maggie Hathaway.
Don't touch my ball. We still gambling.
Yes, I got a par. How you doing?
Some of my best memories are on Saturdays, coming out here.
Born in 1911, Maggie Hathaway migrated from Camp de Louisiana to Los Angeles when she was in her early 20s. She had dreams of a big stage, bright lights, recording studios, and stardom. And she was successful in so many ways, but she didn't stop at fame. Maggie Hathaway sought equality, and her battleground was the golf course. Her weapons were her voice, relationships, and her pen.
If I were going to pick one word to describe Maggie, it would be resilient. Nothing could stop her once she put her mind to fight for a cause or a person or access to an institution.
Maggie Hathaway was a powerhouse. She started the first NAACP organization in Beverly Hills. She was a golfer. She would challenge courses. She would play on a lot of courses that blacks weren't allowed to play on, but she would play on them anyway.
So the story goes, in 1955 at Griffith Park, which was an all-white club at the time, Maggie marched out to give the great Joe Louis a hard time for playing there. On a bet with Louis that she could hit the green, she did, and Louis had to buy her a set of clubs.
Knowing Maggie, she can be kind of coy, so she may have already known how to play golf, and Joe Louis got suckered into a bet.
She was determined. I'm not going to allow the establishment to put me down and to put her people down. Who else would have done it?
Hathaway was the right person at the right time, tenacious, serious, well-connected, and determined to fight for what was right. She get arrested for playing Western Avenue Golf Course, what is now Chester, Washington. It was her friend, Jim Brown, who bailed her out.
There are certain places you couldn't go, certain places you better not go. She went there and got locked up. Jim Brown bailed out of jail.
In 1955, Chester, Washington became the first integrated course in the county. And in the 1990s, she got her own course.
I told the supervisor, I said, we got to name the golf course for Maggie. I said, Maggie, Supervisor Burke told me I could name the golf course after you. She cried like a baby. Maggie was just special to me.
Her determination to integrate really kind of opened up the doors for people that wanted to golf. It started the ball rolling.
A rock in the pond of inequality. Hathaway's ripple effect on golf in Los Angeles seems endless.
I love the fact that we have a great little golf course right here in the middle of the so-called quote-unquote hood.
From providing opportunities for kids.
She was always concerned about the youth and young people and continuing the legacy and not ever going backwards in terms of our access to golf.
To empowering women.
I started Maggie's Ladies in November of 2010. And they have to know etiquette, they have to know the rules, and it's got to be a little competitive.
Jesus, what do I have to do?
Hathaway gave countless others a sense of hope and place they could call home. And although she's been gone since 2001, she's alive and well at that little course they call Maggie.
I'm happy that people are becoming aware of the work that she's done. And she's getting her due finally.
Okay, I see you.
Luck is everything.
I see you. Yes, I see you. What a wonderful story. And for more, we'd now like to welcome Susan Henderson, who you saw in that feature. Susan was a colleague and a friend of Maggie Hathaway. And we'd also like to welcome in Kevin Gigax, the Executive Director of the Southern California Golf Association Junior Golf Foundation. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're at the Maggie Hathaway right now. Susan, let's start with you. We heard a little bit in that wonderful piece, of course, but tell us more about the golf course specifically and how it reflects the legacy of Maggie Hathaway.
Well, Maggie's primary goal was to make sure that everyone had access to golf, especially the children and young people. And this course represented to her the first step in opening those doors. The junior golf programs that exist here, and if she's looking down today, what is planned in the future, is basically her goal in life. She wanted to make sure children had opportunities to play, had access that everyone had. And she has produced quite a few people. We have a state senator, Stephen Bradford, who got his start in golf being one of, quote unquote, Maggie's kids, the ones she packed into a car and drove all over the state to compete. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have marine biologists, people from all walks of life who started out as children playing in a course that nobody cared about, but Maggie thought enough to fight for it and fight for access and then take them to places that previously they had not been allowed to play at.
And now it's going to get even better. That's what's so wonderful about this story. Kevin, let's speak a bit about the restoration that Maggie Hathaway is undergoing, led by none other than Gil Hands. Tell us a bit about how this came about and who some of the partners of the project are.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me on. You know, it's a little bit of a long answer because there's so many great people and organizations that have jumped in to contribute. We started talking to LA Country Club in March of 2020, actually. And right away, the USGA and the SCGA said, we'd love to be part of a community legacy that'll have an impact for generations to come. As we explored that, we really thought about how are we going to do exactly what Susan just described, more opportunity and access for all kids. And we started talking to Western States, American Golf, and LA County and the Department of Park and Rec about what could be done here, this amazing community asset that we have if it had reinvestment. And as that developed, of course, as you mentioned, Gil Hans said, hey, I'd love to be part of the restoration. Colin Morikawa, our honorary chair, jumped in and has been just incredible in terms of his time and resources that he lent. And then none of this would be possible without the philanthropic community. And I would be remiss not to mention Steve Ballmer and the Kroenke family adding additional lead gifts. But so many people are contributing to what's going to be an incredible reinvigoration of Maggie Hathaway Golf Course.
Wow, that is so cool. I didn't realize Colin Morikawa was involved as well. Now he's in the field, or has been in the field at the US Open this week. And Gil Hanse, as we know, is not the only connection between the Maggie Hathaway Golf Course and the Los Angeles Country Club, where we have Championship Sunday coming up today. So tell us, Kevin, what is the relationship like between the two golf courses?
You know, we're in the LAX flight path here, which is one of the charms here. I just want to make sure I heard your question correctly. You just mentioned Chester, Washington? Or LA Country Club, I'm sorry.
Well, just the connection that you have at Maggie Hathaway with the golf course at Los Angeles Country Club, it goes further than just Gil Hanse.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it was their vision to do the community legacy, but LA Country Club was a founder of the SCGA. They've been involved with our junior golf work for a long, long time. The Walker Cup that they hosted was really a boost to the work that we do in junior golf. But I think our favorite tradition is that we bring kids up to play with members every year. This year we had a play day on March 8th, a Sunday, on the North Course. We had 36 kids come from all across Southern California and LA out to play with members. And it's just a magical thing that we do with the club.
Great. Wow, what an opportunity that is. And I'm sure that sign-up sheet will be littered with names now, even more so after holding the US Open. Susan, we mentioned serving the community. How will the investments that are coming to the golf course now continue, do you think, for years to come to help young kids get into this game?
Unfortunately, as was stated earlier, we are in the flight path and a jet just flew over. We tried to get them to hold back the planes, but could you repeat that question, please?
Do they not know we're live from the U.S. Open? It's okay. We'll cope with a couple of flights coming out of LAX. I was just speaking about how the investments coming now to the Maggie Hathaway Golf Course will serve the community for years to come. What are your expectations?
I expect to see even more of what we have witnessed over the last 30 years or so, and that is nonstop children of all different backgrounds and families coming out, learning the game of golf, learning some of the significant values in participating in the game, such as integrity, self-esteem, etc., building character, building futures. I just expect this place to be steaming with young people aspiring to be not necessarily the next Tiger Woods, but aspiring to be better human beings. And that's what Maggie would want.
When do we expect, Susan, that this restoration will start?
I'm going to ask Kevin about that. I don't really know.
Cara, we have built a really great relationship with LA County and the Department of Parks and Rec. In a best case scenario, we would hope to break ground in January of next year and have it done within a year.
Oh, fantastic. All right, then, Kevin, just lastly, I understand that the For Youth campaign is involved as well. Tell us, Kevin, what impact that organization will have on the golf course and indeed the surrounding community.
Yeah, the For Youth campaign is really about, really two main veins. How do we do exactly, again, what Susan was describing, create opportunity and access for all kids, and especially kids that are underrepresented in the game of golf. And we think we do that best through breaking down as many obstacles as there are to golf, equipment, access, affordability, but most importantly, it's the role models. I think the biggest impact that we have on kids is when we have well-trained coaches who serve as role models and guide the kids both on and beyond the course. And then the For Youth campaign, which is, if you want to learn more, foryouth.org, is really going to be the vehicle that drives the renovation and ensures that this place has a legacy, a continued legacy. It is an incredible community asset, and we just want to reinvigorate, re-expand, and have the legacy live on.
What a wonderful story, an asset indeed, and it's only going to get even better. Some inspiring pictures there. We just saw Mike Wan, the CEO of the USGA, Fred Papal, the president of the USGA. Glad to see they have been down there as well, and that a US Open at Los Angeles Country Club can deliver so much benefit to plenty of areas within the community. So good luck with everything, guys, at the Maggie Hathaway Par 3 Golf Course. We look forward to coming back in a year or two and seeing the new look.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
Thank you.